Okay, we are live. We are live, and we hope that you are with us. We'll just see if anyone's there, but we'll also move forward. Um, and just want to welcome everyone to the live stream of Breathe, Right, Breathe. And I'm Sharon Burton with Spark Your Creative Coaching, and I am your host tonight. And I have invited my good friend Lisa Tenner to join me today and talk about her new book. This is also part of our celebration for um, National Novel Writing Month, which is in November. And Lisa's book came out in June. Actually, it came out on my birthday, June 12th, just in case anybody wants to remember that. And so I'll always remember when her book comes out. And Lisa and I have known each other, I guess, about 6 years, 5 or 6 years, or something like that. I know we met prior to COVID, right? Or was it
Yeah,
during COVID?
because we met through your sister
Yes, my
when
sister.
she wrote her book, which was a while ago.
Yes, she worked with you on her first book, Sherry Burton-Stein now. And so I'm really excited to be here today with Lisa. And a little bit about me before we get started. I am a creativity coach and also a new author. I just wrote my first book. Yes. Creative Sparks, 21 Affirmations and Information and Inspiration for Creativity at Midlife. So I'm really excited to be an author now. And I work with creatives, uh, those that are writers, artists, musicians, anything in between, particularly those at midlife, to reclaim, rediscover, or discover their creative dreams and their gifts. So you can find out more about me at www.sparkyourcreative.com. So I want to introduce Lisa and just a little bit about her. And I'm actually reading the bio from her fabulous book, which we're going to talk about, Breathe, Right, Breathe. Um, Lisa is known for helping writers easily access creative flow and bring forth their best work. She served on the faculty of Harvard Medical School, CME publishing course for over a dozen years. She holds 2 degrees from MIT. I did not know that. I did not know that. I was like, whoa, that's heavy. And she's certified by RP Qigong to teach empowerment and happiness Qigong. Her first book, The Joy of Writing Journal, won 5 book awards. And this one is on its way to winning awards. You recently just got the Stevie Award, right? For this
Yeah, for
book?
Book of the Year, got the
Yes,
bronze award. Thank
congratulations.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's see here. We'll go ahead and get started. Um, I have been thumbing through the book and doing some of the exercises or going into some of the videos, and I've been having fun with it. So I just want to let you know that. All right, just share with us what the essence is for Breathe, Right, Breathe. What is it about?
So it's definitely about a book about creative flow and where it comes from and how to nurture it. And or certain some ways to nurture it, right? There are infinite ways to nurture our creative flow. And it the title certainly talks about writing, and it's certainly I would say the core of it is writing, but you can use it for any creative activity. There are little stories in each chapter that have to do with creativity, with writing. They're playful and just and hopefully entertaining and inspiring. And after each story, I share a practice that somehow weaves in with the story. And the practices are mindful movement practices from qigong and from yoga and other traditions like Sufi spinning, and and they're all fairly easy to do. They're all fairly simple, and then they're breathing practices, and the breathing practices are also quite simple. A lot of the breathing practices are from polarity yoga, although there's some breathing with the qigong as well. And these are wonderful practices to get into that creative flow state for writing. And then I also offer a lot of quirky and fun prompts that relate back to the practice
Yes.
and the story. So making it kind of like a writer's retreat or a creativity retreat in a book.
Yeah, I saw some things, some of the writers' prompts, but you do some really cool ones anyway, where, connecting with animals and, and connecting with even some inanimate objects, which really just has you thinking outside the box. And I really enjoy that. Who would be best helped by this book, and why a book about breathing as a way to enhance creativity in writing?
So I would say, after I really wrote the book just out of inspiration, but, as I got near the end, I realized that kind of an ideal reader is myself when I was in my 20s and 30s and felt this desire to write and this creative drive, but I feel like I didn't quite have the, maybe the life experience or structure yet for really knowing what I wanted to write, and so books like Writing Down the Bones and The Artist's
Mm.
Way really helped me to get in that creative space and write and do other creative things as well. And, actually, The Artist's Way spurred me to create this stand-up comedy act, and I took a local class and created this act, did it briefly, it was really fun. So, so I wanted to kind of, I think, also give other people who are searching for maybe, resources for inspiration, and, people like Sark also really inspired my creativity. So kind of coming out of that tradition, and it was really heartwarming that recently I got a review on Amazon that compared the book to The Artist's Way, and very favorably, and it was really like one of those moments where, "Oh, I think I really achieved what I wanted to." So, so I would say, somebody who is looking for more inspiration, it could be somebody who writes for work or writes all the time. It can also be somebody who just is, kind of new to writing, or somebody who has always loved writing but doesn't do it that much and wants to get re-inspired. There's a lot of flexible and playful structure there so that you can use it the way you want to and need it. So you can work on a project that's like an ongoing bigger project, like a blog or a book, or you could use it to just give you inspiration because there are all these fun, quirky prompts that can give you ideas, and then who knows where to lead. Maybe I'll write some poems or essays, or it'll turn into an opera, who knows?
Yeah, that sounds really cool. So really just about anyone um, could benefit from this. And, breath work is such a kind of a big thing now.
Mhm,
Really a lot of people are teaching folks how to regulate their breath as part of regulating their nervous system. And
mhm.
life as it is these days is a lot to calm down. So I think it's right on time with everything that's going on.
Thank
Um,
you.
how did you learn about the breathing techniques?
So,
Were you certified in some kind of, like, I know you do the Qigong, but I
uh
wasn't sure about some of the different techniques that are here.
yeah, so, the polarity yoga techniques, the polarity yoga breathing, uh, that I introduce in the book, I have the elemental breaths. There are 5 of them. I introduced the 3 easiest ones: air, earth, and water. So air is in through the mouth, out through the mouth. Earth is in through the nose, out through the nose, and water is in through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you think about the qualities of those elements, air kind of is spacey up here and floating, and the earth breath's very grounding. So it's really good if you need to get grounded for your writing, and get really grounded in sensory experience, which makes our writing so much better, or if you need to get grounded for structure of what you're working on, or just getting started with a project, then the earth breath can be great. And and for editing actually too. And then the water breath in through the nose, out through the mouth is really wonderful um, for creative flow. Water is all about creativity and flow, so it's like perfect for any kind of creative flow. But I was introduced to them a long time ago before I became a book coach. I was running a nonprofit organization in Boston and was suffering from burnout and chronic fatigue. I was quite sick. And I stumbled upon polarity therapy as a healing modality. And I was so fascinated by how it healed me that I just wanted to know more about it. And the founder of polarity therapy, Randolph Stone, came from Austria, and he studied in China, he studied in India. And so he brought a lot of ancient practices together as well as more recent, like osteopathy. He was an osteopath. And he combined these all in a certain way. And the polarity yoga breaths come from Kundalini yoga, but they're
Mhm.
simplified for Western audience. So that simplified is really important. They're just so simple, and yet you get into a state that's so conducive to creativity and flow and the different elements you might want to be calling upon in a particular instance. So that was pretty foundational, and I started bringing those into the book early on in the process. But qigong has become more and more a part of my life, and so the qigong also uses breath, and so I actually combine the earth breath with some qigong in one of the videos. And of course, the videos can and audios can be scanned with your phone, so it's
Yes.
really easy if the text is there too, if that's what you want. You don't have to use a phone, but it's really nice if you come to the exercise and you want to close your eyes and do a guided visualization, scan with your phone and it plays it and you can go right into it. So it's seamless.
Yeah, it's a fascinating book, and your first book too, because you use a lot of multimedia with that one too, as far as
Oh, that
accessing
here. That's
things.
the joy of writing journal.
Yes, the joy of writing journal, which is one of my favorite personal favorites too, and
Thank
I'm
you.
learning this one. Um, there are a number of QR codes. Speaking of which.
Mhm,
um, that lead readers to the meditations and some of the movement exercises and the breathing.
mhm.
And I was curious about what has been the reaction of a lot of people who have read the book or have used the book. What is their reaction to that multimedia experience?
Yeah, I could definitely see a lot of people on Amazon saying that they love it. It really helps them to do those exercises. I think it makes it fun because you're doing it with me, right? That there's something fun about that. Oh, you know what? I looks like I froze, so I'm just gonna leave and come right back.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. And while we're waiting for her to come back, this is the book that we're talking about, which is Breathe, Write, Breathe. And it's 18 energizing practices to spark writing and free your voice. So just want to make sure that you see what we're talking about, and it's getting towards holiday season, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So we were talking about the QR codes and how people have been reacting to them.
Yeah, I think most people really enjoy them, and it makes the book, like I said, like a workshop or a retreat, right? You get a lot of extra for your money, all these resources and experiences. I did notice one person on Amazon complained And I thought,
Really?
well, you don't have to use your phone. It's written there. You don't, there's no pressure to use it, but they were very irritated. But other than that, I think most people really love it, and it is optional. But I think it makes the book, I think, a fuller, richer experience.
I'm muted by accident.
Oh,
That's really interesting, because there's so many people now are asking for more of that type of interaction.
mhm,
But, there's some purists that are just like, if you're not, you know, or maybe there's a thought there might have been a thought that you had to do it, and
yeah.
everything really in life right now is optional. Nobody's asking you, nobody's
Mhm.
forcing you to do anything. But it does add to it because for example, and I don't know if you're going to do an audio version of the book, but it does kind of give you that different kind of interaction and
Mhm,
that you can do independently. And that's one of the things I liked about it. If I wanted a certain kind of meditation, it might be based on whatever you're talking about in the book, but I may want that meditation for another time that I need.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? And I could
mhm,
just bookmark that page and be like, okay, I'm going to hit that QR code because I love that meditation for, I'm getting ready to do this, or I'm writing. I am both an author or writer and a visual artist.
mhm,
So, sometimes I need some of these techniques for my visual practice.
mhm.
So that's something to keep in mind. So, but anyway, I'm glad that you're seeing that people are really kind of, embracing it. Um, you have a number of writing prompts that I feel that are quite intriguing and that follow the first part of your breathing exercises. And are they provided to help people who have writer's block, or can someone move through the exercises with their own writing project?
Yeah, yeah, I would say, they probably vary. I think some of the prompts will work best just on their own for just giving you some ideas to write something. But I also find that in my Get Your Writing Done program, for example, of which you're a facilitator,
Yes.
um, I I find that sometimes people are a little stuck and the prompt will actually help them get into the material. So it might just be like a bridge or gateway into their actual book, like the actual chapter they're working on. Or sometimes it ends up inspiring a story that goes into the chapter. So one of the people in class, Hay House author, was working on a chapter, and she was trying to add stories to each chapter, the beginning of each chapter, and she said, it just happened to be this prompt about listening, and she was hearing a bird and wrote about the bird, and that was a perfect entryway to the chapter she was working on.
Oh,
So
wow.
sometimes it's magical like that, where it helps you with a specific challenge with a specific project. And I think it's so lovely when that happens, and I think that the more we open ourselves to those kinds of experiences, the more they just happen.
I agree. I agree. Now, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
I think this is a perfect time to do this. Um, Talk to people about Get Your Writing Done,
Oh, thanks.
because I do share that with my writing clients. And I've been working, just for those that are listening and watching, I've been working with Lisa for, I, I can never get since COVID. Has it been that long?
Yeah, I think
Wow. It might have
yeah,
been, or at least the year 21.
probably, yeah, a
It's been a couple of
couple
years.
years.
I started when I was writing my project, I started through the program
Yeah,
and
you started as a student and Get Your
as a
Writing Done.
student. Yeah. And I've just kind of stuck with her with it. But I just wanted you to share a little bit about that in case people might be interested.
Yeah, so I thank you. We have 5 elements for getting in creative flow, and they're and now let's see if I can remember them. I'm going with the old. So tune in is the first one, which,
Yes.
might be a breathing practice or a movement practice, but really like get into your body, get present and solid, and be present, and kind of clear the decks of other stuff, right? Anything you've been worrying about. And so we often do the qigong bouncing because that really is a great exercise, and shaking, a great exercise for just releasing whatever we've picked up during the day. And then the second element is to engage your muse. So just acknowledging your creative source, that this is really sacred time. It's special, a special gift you're giving yourself, and connecting with that creative aspect of you. And then noting your intentions. So your intention might just be, I just want to write something fun, or I want to write something funny or loving, or it might be more specific, like I want to write write up the research about chapter 3, or I want to write a story that brings people into chapter 2, or whatever it is. So getting clear on your intention, and there's that aspect of intention, what I'm going to do right now, and then there's the piece that's your vision. And I have all these self-study materials on the website for people for writing a book or other creative projects, but especially for book writing, for nonfiction book writing in particular. And so uh, I always have people create a vision statement for their project, especially if it's a book. And so that's something that you might read aloud whenever you're working on your work. But that's another way of noting your intention. And then the next element is enjoy the writing. Just write, and you'll be in that flow state because you've done those first 3 steps. And the three elements are very flexible. There are lots of different ways to do them. So we do them different ways in class, and you can also find your own ways to do them. And then the last step is relaxing gratitude, because gratitude gives us more of what we want. And it's such a high vibration experience, gratitude. But your relationship with your creative muse, with your creativity, is like any other relationship. If you say, "Oh, I don't really like what I wrote today," or I wanted to write 5 pages, only wrote half a page, then you're not feeding that relationship. You're not nourishing it. But if you're great, find the things to be grateful for. I'm grateful I made the space and
Mm.
time to sit here and write. I'm grateful for this one sentence that I love, even, so find the things you're grateful for, and that creates more of what you're grateful for. So it sets you up for success in the future as you continue to write or create in any other ways.
And it's funny, um, that gratitude part is one of my favorite parts to facilitate as, um, as part of the program, because we don't think about gratitude as much about our creative process or practice.
Hmm.
And I was working with some folks the other night, and we actually went through a gratitude process where
Hmm.
um, we talked about some of the things that we're grateful for with our creative, um, output this year, and, all of that, and did a meditation. And I was saying how much that is such a special part of even this program. So, Lisa, you have this book, you have this great program. How can people find out? How can they learn more? How they can get involved? How they can find the book? All of that.
Thank
How
you.
can we find you?
So my website is lisatenner.com, lisatener.com. And I have a blog there too. So feel free to ask any questions. As a comment on the blog, I always answer there. And the book is the easiest place is Amazon. And Breathe, Write, Breathe, 18 Energizing Practices to Spark Your Writing and Free Your Voice. There are some bookstores that carry it, and other places too, but that's going to be the easiest. And let's see. And then I am on social media, Lisa Tenner Writes on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, and LinkedIn, all the usual places. So yeah, I'd love to connect with anyone who feels so moved.
Any upcoming things with the book? Anything that you may want to share with
Yeah,
people?
we're doing a retreat in January, doing it
Okay.
with Robin Call, who is like the big book influencer in New England, and she's amazing. So we're doing another retreat in Narragansett by the seaside,
Okay.
and it's going to be a 1 day retreat. Although if people want to do an hour and a half private session with me, they can stay overnight for free. And it's yeah, it's going to be a really wonderful time to practice these exercises in a just beautiful spot surrounded on three sides by water,
Oh, wow.
and a wonderful opportunity to go deep with your creativity
Yeah.
and really get comfortable with these practices in the book and use them in new ways maybe. And so I invite anyone who's curious. We don't quite have it up on my website yet, but if you email me, it should be up in the next few days.
Okay, cool. That sounds interesting. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, maybe you'll come.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, January's already kind of filling up, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. I just want to thank you, Lisa, for just agreeing to do this. I was hoping to be able to share. I wanted to share your book with everyone. If you're catching the replay, please, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And also let us know if you got the book, if you purchased it, what your thoughts are. If you have some questions from anything of the content this evening, we'd love to respond to that. But just want to thank you, Lisa, for just being my guest and to promote this unique and wonderful book. Matter of fact, I am going to, it's this book, and I got another book too, that's based on creativity that I think are just wonderful gems. Of course, my book,
Yeah.
um, Creative Sparks. But it just tells you how important your creativity is.
Mhm.
Whoever that's out there, we really, as people that work in this field, that really want to work with people, there's a plethora of books that are out now that can, no matter what your angle or your interest is, you can find something now. It used to be just a few, but now it's quite a few books out there to help.
Mhm.
And we definitely want you to engage with those books and really just keep your library open to enhancing your creativity. And again, if you're interested in learning more about me, sparkyourcreative.com is the first place to go. You can learn more about my book, Creative Sparks, on that website, as well as you can get that on Amazon. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank
And
you, Sharon.
thank you all who are watching or will be watching, and have a wonderful evening.